Good evening. It is 7 o'clock, Monday, April 23rd, 2018. I call this meeting of the second meeting of April to order. My name is Jeff Matthews. I'm President of Town Council. I would like to welcome the others that are here with us this evening. To my far right, Councilor Eileen Fisher.
Good evening.
Jason Delisle.
Good evening.
Vice President David Lindsay.
Good evening.
Councilor Gary Rakes.
Good evening.
Town Manager Jacob Blaisdell.
Good evening, Speedway.
And our Town Attorney Bob Clutter.
How to do?
Our agenda has been posted, in which we will be following this evening. First on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and we would like the students to come forward to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tammy, if you would introduce these students and tell us what they're here tonight for.
Yes, I'm excited to recognize these three students from Speedway High School. Back in January, I reached out to the principal, Mr. Zartman, with an idea about freshening up the park's logo, and I thought it would be nice to have a contest with the students. So he gave us the okay, and art teacher, Miss Weatherhead, with her digital design students, put in motion, and about a month later, we came up with awesome design. The winner was Andy Castillo. We had our second place here, Rachel Matthews, and third was William Bickle. There were 53 entries, 49 students that participated, and 14 judges had the difficult task of selecting a winner. But I think we all agree that the winning logo was impressive, and we're excited to recognize these students today. And I believe they've got the winning logo on the screen.
Nice. Well done. Any questions for our talented artists here?
How long did it take to do that?
Andy?
I don't know, I guess a couple of days. I know how to look through a couple of ideas, and to me, what stood out was the gazebo, and I decided to go with it, I guess.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Congratulations. Well done.
Now, which park is your favorite?
Meadowood. I've always grown up there, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
Anyone else?
So I was one of the judges on this contest, and I will say that it was very difficult. There's a lot of talent in our schools on this, and a lot of them were either the gazebo or the water tower was the two main things that they focused on the majority of. So, but they all did an outstanding job. It was hard. It was not easy.
I'd like to thank Miss Weatherhead. She's sitting back in the back on purpose, I think, but I think it's great that the schools got involved in this and more than willing to work with us on this. It's great. And Mr. Zartman also, hiding back there in the back row.
Yep. Well, thank you.
Great job,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
And by the way, you guys are free to leave. You don't have to stay. Won't bore you with it. Okay, moving right along. Item number 2, the approval of minutes of the Town Council meeting dated April 9th, 2018. Any comments or suggestions of change? Hearing none, those will be approved. Item number 3, the approval of minutes of the memorandum of the April 9th executive session. Those two were distributed. Any comments, corrections? Hearing none, those two will be approved. Item number 4, request for road closure on June 23rd for the Bloomington Gold Tour. Is Joe here tonight? Joe, would you like to come up and speak on your behalf, please?
Well, hello. Thanks very much for having me. I am Joe Reams. I'm the director of Bloomington Gold Field Operations and the Road Tour. And we're having a request for a road closure for June 23rd. Should be about 5 p.m. As you know, we have an event over at at the Speedway that culminates on Saturday. And at the end of the event, we have a little road tour. And we're going to do the same thing we did last year, where we go up towards the airport, the Eagle Creek Municipal Airport there, come back around, and then come back ending in the town of Speedway. I'm working with Connie Harris, and we're going to have some discounts and stuff from the restaurants. They're really great about that. So we end up back there. And I think we had about 100 cars last year that came back from the tour. So we should start about 5. We're closing that, like that 16th, I'm not closing it, but Brett McAtee will handle that. He organizes the police and everybody along the route, go down Crawfordsville towards Dandy Trail and up towards the airport. So pretty much the same route. You should have a map that we included, so it's pretty much the same thing. We should be done as the cars leave. It took us about 45 minutes to get out of the track and onto the road, and so as the last car goes, we open up the road as we go. So we should be done with that part of the highway, I would say, in an hour, 6 o'clock or so. And then on the way back, they have to obey the traffic signals to come back to Speedway from Dandy Trail. So there's no road blockage after that. So it kind of peels off as we go up north. So should be the same. Hopefully it didn't bother too many people last year, and we really enjoy it. The town is great. I really enjoy what you guys are doing with the town. It's just fabulous. So we're hoping to have more that come back. And I think the word got around last year, so we should have even more people come back in, and Connie and I are going to work with trying to get more of an atmosphere so they come back. So,
Mr. President, I'd make a motion that we approve the road closure as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request for road closure on June 23rd for the Bloomington Gold Tour. Are there any comments or questions from the audience? Any from council?
Couple. You had some numbers in there, I'm not sure I caught them all. About how many people and cars do you think you'll be bringing in for the weekend?
Oh, for the weekend, we have quite a few people. There might be 5,000 Corvettes in the IMS throughout the weekend. We normally run about, I would say, 900 or so to 1,000 on the tour that leave. But then they go off, they peel off here and there along the way, and by the time they come back, it just depends on how we can entice them to come into Speedway, or some of them want, it's been a long weekend. They've been there since Thursday, so they got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They kind of peel off on their own. Some of them want to get home. Some of them are doing something else. So,
How many years have you been coming here now?
we started 2015, so it's been a lot of. We've had some good times. The weather doesn't always approve. We've had some rain, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. We really appreciate, though, everybody cooperating. It's been a great time here.
The group that's coming back, you said about 100? Is that what you think?
We had about 100 last year. I'm
You're hoping for
hoping that
more?
gets better.
Have you arranged with our police department for parking for that
Well,
group
we
when they come
thought,
back?
last year I had, there's a parking lot behind the vault, and I arranged for that. But I think there's enough street parking. I think it's A.J. Foyt.
Yes.
Yes.
The last year I noticed at that time of the day, it seemed to be pretty open for parking, and there's some lots around the area that they could use. So I think it'll probably work out where we just kind of let it go where they can park. They want to park on the main street anyway, so there was quite a bit of parking on the last time we had the event. So I'm hoping that'll work out.
So a strong option B could be the Foyt Wine Vault
Yeah.
behind Foyt's building, correct?
Right.
Because
right.
this, last year, the Wilshaw project had not started, so that's a lot is gone.
Right. I'm aware of that. I don't know if we had a lot of cars parked there, but I know there's, as they get into town a little bit more, like where the microbrewery is. There's a couple of, there's some parking lots behind there. The pizza place has a nice parking lot too. They seemed, when we went through at that time of the day last year, Saturday, seemed like those were pretty open, so it would be kind of nice to have them come in. And it's kind of going to have to be first come, first serve it to that who come in. But like I say, I'm thinking if we get 200 cars, that's going to be a lot probably, for that. So I'm thinking we'll probably be closer to 100, 125, something like that.
The other, I'm in favor generally, but one comment I heard quite a bit last year was and this is more about working with Mr. McAtee, who's an IMPD police officer, or maybe he's retired by now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he retired this year.
But the traffic coming south on 465, exiting to Speedway was stopped, and it was a lot of people backed up quite a ways. And the challenge is there's folks going to I-74 out to Brownsburg.
Okay.
At that same exit, there's folks coming down to the Speedway exit, and they end up being stuck for quite a while to get however many cars are leaving
Okay.
there and going on the
Okay.
tour, if it's 1,000 or whatever that is.
Okay.
So I would ask that between our own police department or Jacob or whoever and Mr. McAtee, that we work, if this is approved, to work really hard to figure out how we can minimize the inconvenience or the communication on
Okay.
locally and on, hey, this is going to happen at this time of day. It's kind
Okay.
of like when we have 500 events or 400 other things, people know not to
Okay.
leave town at certain times of day because they can't get back. And same kind of thing here.
Right.
But it was a good 30 to 45 minutes. People were literally sitting still on the interstate or at the interstate exit. That was really inconvenient. So
Okay.
it's a great thing. We love people coming to town spending money.
Oh, right.
Just how do we
Well,
minimize that to where folks can go on down to the next exit, turn around and come back, or whatever that might look, the best way to handle that.
Okay. Well, I know Brett will be working with your chief here. I know that those guys work together on that stuff, so that's why I kind of have him working with that to get all those details worked out, so they can do what they have to do. If they have to stop, they stop. And it's not, they kind of have a ribbon of traffic, but sometimes that can't be helped. You just gotta, once they get going, I don't have any problem with that. They shouldn't have to worry. If they have to stop and to relieve traffic, they should be able to, as far as I'm concerned, so.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I will talk to Brett about it, though.
Okay.
Thanks for hearing me.
Thank you.
Item number 6, Resolution 2018-06. I'm sorry. Item number 5, public hearing for Economic Development Planning Grant. Jacob?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So we'll go ahead and do the public hearing first here. So as I mentioned at our last meeting, we are applying for Economic Development Planning Grant, which would provide us with funds through the OKRA program to put an economic development plan together. I think we've seen the need and recognize the need for this, so we have have a long-term strategy and plan as we look at what we're developing, how we're developing, and have a strategic way forward, essentially. And Mike, I don't know if we should open it up the public hearing now.
Yeah, I got to read just 4 or 5 bullet points if I could, and then we could open it if that's okay.
Sure, go for it.
Good. All right, good evening. My name is Mike Kleinpeter with Kleinpeter Consulting Group, and I'm the OKRA Certified Grant Administrator assisting with this project. The purpose of the hearing today is to discuss the town's application for grant funding through the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. We're applying specifically for an economic development plan in the amount of $40,000. The town will be contributing a local match of $4,500 with the local match funds coming out of the general fund. The purpose of this plan is to look at the current economic development needs of the community and put together a 10-year economic plan going forward. OKRA has minimum technical requirements that will have to be met. Jacob has a copy of those, and I have an extra copy if any of you are interested in that, on what has to actually be in the plan. We intend to submit our application at the end of April. We want to make sure the citizens of the town are fully informed and have an opportunity to voice any concern or support for the project and ask any questions they may have. Funds available for this program through OCRA are non-competitive, but there is a minimum qualification score. I do not see any issues upon reaching the minimum score. If the town is successful with the application, award announcements will be approximately 45 days after April 30th. At this meeting, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Matthews to open the public comment.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will open it up for public comment at 7:15. Well, if I can wait an entire minute.
30 seconds passed.
Hey, look, it is. So if hearing none, we will close the public hearing at 7:16. Item number 6, Resolution 2018-06, resolution of the Town of Speedway authorizing the submittal of the CDBG Planning Grant application to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more to say about it. I think Mike laid it out well. Again, there are some minimum requirements that we will have to have in the plan to essentially show that we did what we were supposed to do and are getting the product that we need as far as having a comprehensive economic development plan. So with that, we would ask for your approval in supporting a resolution to go ahead and move forward with the application process.
Mr. President, I make a motion we accept Resolution 2018-06.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2018-06. Is there any comment from the audience? Any from council? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0. Item number 7, we've added this this evening. Professional services approval for Mike Kleinpeter. Jacob, please.
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. We're going to squeeze kind of an item in here just while we're on the topic. We are going to be utilizing the services of Mike Kleinpeter with Kleinpeter Consulting to help us with the application process as well as the administration of the grant. This is a contract to enter into, it's a professional services contract for him to do that, and I would just ask council for concurrence on moving forward with approval of that contract.
Mr. President, I make a motion we accept the agreement as stated by our town manager.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the professional services agreement with Mike Kleinpeter. Any questions from the audience? Any from council?
An amount of dollars?
Yeah, it's a $4,500.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0. Next item, bid approval for Meadowood Water Tower Tank painting. Jacob?
Well, I guess it's Wendell's here. He's expecting me to do that for him, so. Yeah, so we received bids. We've been working on this project for quite some time now to repaint the Meadowood Tower. If anyone's looked at it, I've actually had a few people just randomly kind of tell me, hey, you guys ought to think about repainting that tower. And I said, yeah, we're on it. We're working on it. But it's a process. So we received bids. Those have been distributed to you and are in front of you. And so we are looking at asking you to approve the low bidder to repaint the Meadowood Water Tower.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we accept the, I'm saying this right, Jacob, they bid from American Suncraft Company Incorporated
That's correct.
for the amount of $342,525.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve American Suncraft bid to repaint the Meadowood Water Tower. Are there any questions from the audience? Any from council?
Jacob, do we know how long this paint will last? I mean, that's a large amount of money, obviously.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be a 15-year
Okay.
paint and hopefully longer.
So we've got it broken down here with base bid along with alternates. can we explain, are we opting to the alternate bid, or are we agreeing to the total amount bid?
Well, I do know that we've talked about the mixer, and so I think our staff needs to take a look at determining what of those additional alternate items they need and what they might think they don't need. So we would ask approval at the staff's discretion to receive the alternate bid if that's additional work that they deem needs to be done.
Mr. President, I then would amend my motion that we approve the proposal and also allow our town employees to accept the alternate bids as stated in the letter from
Tank Industries.
Tank Industries and Consultants. Easy for me to say.
Second. So it's been moved and seconded to approve American Suncraft Company's base bid with the option of alternate. Are there any questions from the audience? Any from council? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Mr. President, I would like to note for the public, is this, Jacob, this came in below our estimate by quite some, which was good news.
Yeah.
About 200,000 less. So.
Thank you, Counselor.
And this
Mr.
was
President.
the proposal that didn't have the counselors going up and helping with the paint work up there, so we went ahead and went
That's
with
why
that
it's
one.
lower.
Right,
That's
that's
it.
Liability, yeah.
Heights and I don't get along. It's a good thing.
Next item is the approval of claims and utility adjustments. Our clerk treasurer is amending at home. I know he's watching, so hi, Monty. But I will state that the claims for the period between 4/7 and 4/20 have been distributed.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the claims presented to us by the clerk treasurer's office for April 7th through the 20th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve claims as presented. Are there any questions from the audience? Any from council? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0. Moving on with the utility adjustments for the same time period, ending April 20th, 2018. It's a very short list, by the way.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the utility adjustments for April 7th through April 20th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the utility adjustments as presented. Any questions from the audience? Any from council? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 5-0. Get well, Monty. Next item, report from our town manager, Jacob Blaisdell.
Thank you, Mr. President. So a few updates. The B&O trail construction is well underway. The last report I saw had us at 12% complete as of the end of last week. They're laying down gravel, getting ready to do some paving. If this is in your backyard, thank you for your patience. It's going obviously through a lot of different areas. And also appreciate folks that are driving, kind of respecting the workers and what they're doing and helping us keep a safe environment for them. But it's started out west, working its way east. Weather hasn't been too cooperative, but it hasn't been too terrible, so things are moving along there with that project. Also want to mention economic development planning. I mean, we're moving pretty quickly on that. We're going to be interviewing the firms that put in bids and proposals together for us to do that plan. Our goal is to kind of get that process underway and under contract. We are going to go back for the wastewater grant that we applied for with the state. And long story short, we need to move quickly, and we want to move quickly anyway, so that process is working out well. And then also just want to mention, Taste of Speedway was really successful, had a great turnout, and also had a lot of folks from out of town. There, you saw a lot of people wearing shirts and stuff from other high schools and that sort of thing. It was exciting to see. It was really nice, and we had a good local turnout as well. So appreciate everybody that participated in that. That's what it takes, you know, all the restaurants and different companies and businesses in town working on stuff like that. It goes a really long way. And obviously the Chamber did a great job with it as well. Really well hosted event. And last but not least, I've officially been the town manager for over a year now. I finally hit that mark. It's been a lot of fun. I don't think any day has been like the last one. I started trying to think, okay, when am I going to start settling in here, and things will just seem like another day in the office, and that hasn't happened, but I'm not mad about it. It's been really impressive to see all the work that goes into keeping the town going, keeping the water on, keeping our streets nice, keeping first responders going, and our toilets flushing too. Also important for us. We've got a really great staff, a lot of hardworking people. And so thank you, and thank you, council, for the opportunity to serve. It really is a pleasure. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Jacob. Next up is our town attorney, Bob Clutter.
Yes, thank you. I've just got one thing to briefly report on. At Jacob's request, I recently drafted a confidentiality agreement for employees and contractors to sign. Certain employees and certain contractors, by virtue of their duties and responsibilities, may run across sensitive, confidential, or classified information, particularly in an economic development environment, but also in some other areas. And we thought it was important that those employees and contractors sign a confidentiality agreement. Certainly, a lot of economic development prospects will insist upon that, and secondly, it's also a good reminder for those employees and contractors not to disclose publicly or even over a game of bridge or something some of the sensitive information that they may come across during their employment or their work for the town of Speedway. And I would also suggest that you might make that a part of your employee handbook going forward. And it certainly doesn't need to be signed by all town employees, but certain ones that by virtue of their responsibilities may run across sensitive or confidential information should sign that. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Thank you, Bob. That's definitely a piece of information we definitely need to have on file and have at the ready, so thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome. You bet.
it. Moving on, item number 12, reports from town council members, starting with Eileen Fisher.
I have nothing this evening, thanks.
Councilor Jason Delisle.
Nothing for me.
Councilor Gary Rakes.
Two things. One, I want to thank the residents in the Cunningham Park area. They invited me to speak with the residents and homeowners, and on Saturday morning we had representation from the police department, had representation from the Wayne Township Trustee's office. Andy Harris came and talked to them about the different things that the Township Trustee does in terms of poor relief. Oftentimes the trustee's known for fire, the fire department in Wayne Township, but there's a large part of their budget and a large part of their responsibilities are taking care of folks that are really in need. And so the particular group in Cunningham Park has an interest in reaching out to folks in the apartments and some of the rental homes where they know families may be struggling and in need. So there was some really good discussion on how they might initiate some activities just among themselves and try and go forward throughout the community. And then police department did a nice job of just answering questions that they had. So I want to thank them. Secondly, tomorrow at 12:45 on Main Street, the state of Indiana has placed in a historical marker dedicating the World War I Army Depot, the Aviation Repair Depot. Back during World War I, planes would arrive disassembled to some degree, obviously, on the railroad, and what's now Rolls-Royce, which was Allison engine, Allison eventually gas turbine, did the repairs, and then those planes would go to the track and be shuttled up to the track, or they'd fly out of the track, the Motor Speedway, to be returned to service. So there's a dedication tomorrow of that marker on Main Street, 12:45. Do you know the exact location? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's at the, kind of where the B&O trail is already paved on the east side of Main Street, and so just north of 1911
Great.
Speedway Indoor Karting.
Great, thank you. That's all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Gary. Vice President David Lindsay.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. I just have a couple items here. Speedway Running Club will be hosting the Run with Racers event. There's two events that are scheduled. First is coming up Wednesday, April 25th. That is at 5:45. It's a 5K fun run, and with a $20 donation, that money goes towards Indiana military serving overseas. So if you can, make it out. It's a fun run, so you can go as fast or as slow as you want. It's all for a great cause. So thank you, Daredevil, for putting that on, along with Connie and the Chamber of Commerce. Also, I'd like to mention that the second meeting of May, which is Monday, May 28th, that is Memorial Day, by the way, that we have a meeting scheduled for that day. We are going to go ahead and cancel that for the day. So please make note that the Monday, May 28th meeting will be canceled. And so on that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening at 7:31. I call this meeting adjourned.